How long was your last relationship?
I don't do relationships.
So you never been with a man before?
No. I like multiple instead of one.
So you're polyamorous?
No. She be cheating. I just cheat. Because I don't want a relationship.
When you date, you see multiple guys at once?
Yes.
You ever sleep with more than one of them in the same day?
I don't date anybody, but not in the same day. That's a little dirty. But maybe in the same week.
So you don't think living like this stops you from wanting to even settle down later on in life?
Maybe later on, but I'm young and tart right now, so who gonna remember this shit?
For me, it was so many things that I had not done because I was in these two long-term relationships. I'm a relationship girl, but I wanted to be a hoe.
So you was faithful in both those relationships?
Huh?
For the niggas who always be saying that you cannot turn a hoe into a housewife, yes you can, bitch. Because I used to be a hoe. But I ain't no hoe no more. So, you can turn a hoe into a housewife. When she get tired of fucking random niggas. Yes, you can.
Hey, these brothers. How about today, brothers, we answer this question that's been around, man, for some years now, man. Probably longer than we've been alive, man. Can you turn a hoe into a housewife? First off, man, we really have to define what a whore is, man. Because if we go down and ask a TD Jakes, right? If we go down and ask a brother Joel Osteen, if we go and ask our grandmothers, our grandfathers, what a hoe is, they'll probably say, man, you know, if you sleeping with a man that's not your husband, or if you sleeping with more than one man, then girl, you a hoe, right? But at the same time, if you would go in and to ask a whore what a hoe is, she'd probably say, you know what? If I'm not on Harry Hines or whatever, you know, a Figaro or whatever, selling my body for you know, then I'm not a hoe. So each person is going to have to determine what a hoe is in their minds, right? But again, the question is, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? And I'll say this. I'll say both yes and no. And when I say yes, this is what I'm saying. Can you take a woman that has been moving in the most promiscuous of ways, right? And put a ring on it. Give her your last name. Put her in your house. Take care of her. Provide for her. Protect her. Have kids with her. Like, can you do that with a hoe? Yes, you can. But will that hoe actually be a housewife? And my answer is absolutely not. If I was to go to the costume store and put a cop uniform on and put boys in blue on my chest and put a weapon on my hip and put handcuffs on the other hip, would I technically be a cop? I wouldn't be. I would simply be a man in a cop uniform. And I'm gonna tell you this, man, a lot of us brothers, man, have made hoes into housewives when really they still just hoes. And again, I'm not saying, you know, I'll say this. I've entertained a whore or two in my life. I've even been with a woman that moves like that, and for a small period of time saw her in, you know, in the long way, being with her in the long way, long relationship, maybe even more than that, right? So I'm not sitting there acting like brothers look like we can fall victim to that, man. So I'm not even talking about that. But can you do it? No, you cannot. Why can't you do it? I'll say it like this, man. There are a few reasons why you can't, man. And if I was to go down through there, I would say one of the main reasons why you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, man, is simply because of validation reasons. I believe when a woman is moving in that highly promiscuous frequency, that energy, she has validation addiction, bro. You gotta understand that and I'm not a woman, nor am I a female whore, but I would assume one of the greatest highs of that is having several men, having a number of men, giving you all kind of validation, reaching out to you a number of times a day for several days. Like it has to be a high, a woman that already likes a validation. It has to be a high for a woman to have, 3 or 4 men in her rotation. And she's getting messages from them every 24, 36 hours. I saw the picture you put on the gram. It looks good. Or getting hearted photos, or getting pictures exchanged, or getting showered with compliments all day from a number of guys. You think a woman can step away from that? Bro, that has to be the high of highs.
One thing that you've never told your ex. Sleeping with other people on the side just for fun without them knowing, like secretively, like very low key, because I kind of get like a little rush from it.
Okay, so you said sleeping with other people, which means that there's like more than one.
Yes. Like I have a little, like I said, like I like knowing I can have a guy, but then also like if I can have that rush where I get to have like fun still with other, like I need attention, right? Like I'm one of those girls who constantly needs attention. So for me, I'm like, having one guy isn't really as fun than having, like others to tease with too. So usually if I'm in like a relationship, I kind of have a little something going on the side.
And your boyfriends have never found out about this?
No.
And I'm gonna tell you this, man. I can see. This is one thing I've talked about many times. I can tell when a man has a woman that other brothers can get it. And I'm gonna say this: it's easier when you're not in that situation than when you're in it. A man outside of a relationship can see when another man is in a relationship. He can see certain attributes of how his woman is moving that just with a little bit of validation, he can get inside. A man can see that. And I'm telling you, a woman that has that promiscuous energy about her, man, she's always going to be craving that addiction. I don't think that one man will ever be able to replace having several men coming to see you, several men shower you with compliments. Not even talking about the men that you're teasing on social media with your thirst traps. To go from that to moving in a wife type energy, I don't think a lot of women can do that. At the same time, man, I think that a lot of women that have that validation addiction, these women are easily manipulated, brothers. A woman that at one time has craved all that energy and now goes to, hey, I want one man. Brother, it doesn't take but one y'all know it. It doesn't take but one compliment. It don't take but one comment in the DM saying, yeah, that picture you posted the other day, like you were fire. And it's a wrap. So a woman is easily manipulated once she's even been in that energy before. Like there are some women, man, that you can just see them and you can just paint a picture in their minds of what life would be like spending time with you, and they will up and walk away from a man in their life, a husband even. So I believe that validation addiction is one of the primary reasons, man, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Like I heard, and I don't know the lady, it was an older lady online, and she was saying like men today, like y'all just can't compete. Like if you're a man today and you're in a relationship, she said you can't compete with technology. You can't compete with all the men that are constantly giving your woman this praise all day. You can't compete. So just think about a woman that's fully submerged herself in that energy, and now she's trying to come out and cope. It's not going to happen. You cannot turn a hoe into a housewife strictly because of that right there, in my opinion. Right? I'll say this too, man. Another reason why I don't think you can turn a hoe into a housewife is really because it's playing Russian roulette with your stick, man. It's really playing Russian roulette with your stick. And I'll say this, man. I'll say this. It's rough enough, man. And when I say Russian roulette, what I mean is this. I'm talking about STDs now. And I saw in the last video or two, man, a lot of y'all brothers were really commenting on STDs when it came to talking about women that moved a certain way. That's something I don't believe we talk about enough. And to be honest, I don't think we talk about it enough because I don't think a lot of people take it as serious. I think there's a small percentage of people that get checked on a regular basis. And I'm gonna tell you this, I can't stand doctors. I can't stand the way the whole medical system is set up. I can't stand hospitals. But I'm gonna tell you this, at least once a year, Soul gonna give that blood to see what's going on in the system. He gonna check what's going. And I think a lot of people take that as serious, man. So I think that's why we don't talk about that as much. But you gotta understand, if you entertain a woman that's been living in that whole type promiscuous state of being, brother, you're rolling the dice 2 or 3 times running the risk.
So one of my main problems with hoes or people who push the hoe agenda is that they never tell you the side effects of being a hoe. They never brag about their STDs. They brag about how much fun they had when they went to Jamaica. They brag about how much freedom they feel like they have, how liberated they feel like they are, but they never talk about their STDs. They never talk about the treatment that they got. They never talk about the pills they had to take for how many days, how many weeks. They never talked about when they initially got HIV and how their body, reacted to it. They never talk about, how every few months they have outbreaks. They never talk about their STDs, but they're steady trying to push hookup culture and trying to tell you how you need to clean your vagina so that, it's smelling right for the next man. They never tell you, the side effects. I just find that very interesting.
I'm finna give this ninja something he can't get rid of. And when I say something he can't get rid of, I'm talking about something deep. I'm talking about where he can't even leave me alone. He gonna have to be with me forever and always. I'm talking ain't no new girl on the side. I'm talking ain't no more 304's for him. I'm talking just me and only me and me forever until we, in that bed. But he got me messed up. So I found out he was dealing with another chick. So I called him and I told him to come over. So basically right now, you know how dudes is, they gonna take the hokey do. But I told him to come over. So basically right now, I'm waiting for him to pull up. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna do that to him. Like I'm finna give him that good cootie cat. I'm finna lay that pipe down. I give him the 1, 2, 3. And y'all, in a couple days, he gonna start feeling some symptoms. He gonna start feeling skitty and stuff. He gonna be asking me questions. I'm gonna be acting all subliminal, like I don't know what he talking about. And then I'm gonna flip the script on him, like, what, ninja, you gave me something I can't get rid of. I'm gonna play it off like I'm really mad, like I'm really feeling some type of way when really I already know what's going on. I gave you something you can't get rid of. That's what you get when you get to messing with a girl like me and you get to cheating and, playing with my heart. And I got a lot of those too. And me being a 304, I do that too quite a bit. Like, you ain't finna get off on me and think you just ran off on me. No. We giving and returning over here, baby.
Like, it's one thing like this. Let's all be honest. Like, I can lie to my friends, you can lie to your friends, but we ain't got to lie to each other. Everybody talks about safe sex. Everybody talks about, well, have protected sex, and he got to have a condom, she got to have a condom. But y'all know just as much as I know, us as adults, that condom game isn't as strong as we make it sound. Like, if you go down to CVS right now, if you go to Walgreens right now, I guarantee you the condom got a coat of dust on them. I guarantee you. And a lot of people always say, I don't see how a woman can sleep with a man she just met last night. To be honest, if you just met him last night and you just met him and you've been knowing him for 6 months, if y'all don't know what y'all status is, it don't matter how long you knew him. So people just don't take that as serious. And I'm talking about men and women. You can meet a woman, y'all can know each other for a week, boom, y'all smashing raw. Again, you can lie to your friends, I can lie to mine, but we ain't got to lie to each other, man. So we're all playing Russian roulette. So when you get with somebody, man, who's been in that state on steroids, they've been messing with several people, man, it's you're really rolling the dice. And you got to understand, when people move in that energy where they're just sleeping with a multitude of people, they aren't really sharing if they wake up and they scratching one day. They aren't really sharing if they're getting signs and symptoms and knots on their body or whatever it is, with the person they're sleeping with. They're not really sharing if they brought something into their lives, man, that they can't get rid of. So the reason I don't think you can turn a hoe into a housewife, man, is because I think it's just risky business. It's already risky enough, man, in 2025, sleeping with meet a new woman and sleeping with her. But again, if she's come from a past where she's sleeping with man after man after man after man, brother, it's like, it's guaranteed, man, that at some point, if she keeps playing that game, bro, it's gonna catch up with you, man. And you're gonna be stuck with something, man, that either is gonna be causing you an extreme amount of pain or discomfort, or possibly something you can't get rid of at no point, brothers. You know what I'm saying? But the last one is the key for me, man, of why I don't believe you can turn a hoe into a housewife. And that's due to something I heard brother Napoleon Hill talk about in his book, Outwitting the Devil, several years ago. And it's what he called hypnotic rhythm, right? And when Napoleon discussed hypnotic rhythm, he was talking about, he said, you know what? There are people that can overcome certain things. There are people that can overcome alcoholic addiction, drug addiction, and all kind of addictions or all kind of issues. But he said at some point you can't. And that's when he started talking about hypnotic rhythm. In other words, he says when a person is doing a certain thing, whether it's good or bad, they're creating a pattern in life. They're creating a web in life, creating a reality in life. And at some point, that reality gets so fixed that a person can never come out of it. In other words, if a person is an alcoholic between 20 and 30, they make and break that. 20 and 40, they make and break that. But if they're drinking between 20 and 60, odds are, not saying it's impossible, but odds are they're going to always be in that energy. Like it's going to become a norm to the point where they don't even know another reality. So I see it the same way with a person that's sexually promiscuous. Like you may be young and you might have a boyfriend and you might step out and sleep with somebody else. Then at some point you find yourself single and you want to have 2 or 3 guys on rotation. At some point, that multitude of sticks is going to be your norm. You know what I'm saying? So anything outside of that or anything other than that, man, it won't even make sense. And again, I believe a lot of people try to do it. I believe a lot of women honestly say, you know what? I'm tired of this life. Kind of like the sister said, like, hey, I was once a hoe and now I'm a housewife, but it was because I got tired. I believe at some point in time, a lot of women get tired of living like that and they make a conscious decision to move in a different energy. But at the same time, I believe that web has been built for so long. It's just who they are. And these are the women that find themselves in position. Yeah, you might have a ring on it. You might have kids with a man. You might be being taken care of. You might have his last name. Y'all might be playing the role of husband and wife. But due to these attributes you've accumulated, due to these issues you've brought into the relationship, you can never really be a wife. Like you're always to the core going to be a hoe.
Yeah, I said to Myron, I was like, you know, if you met her, I don't think you would say that. I think if you got to know her, you would understand that, you know, she wants to change, she wants to be better. I had to go back to
definitely ramp up my only, like, produce more content. We'll see where it goes.
What does that mean?
We'll see where it goes.
Is there gonna be boy-girl stuff?
No.
That's the question.
Yeah. Would you go back to that?
Oh my God. No.
I'm out if that happens. I'm out.
Okay.
Would you?
No, I don't know.
What do you mean?
What do you don't know? No, I don't know.
You don't know?
No. No.
What?
Like, no.
I'm sorry. You always said you would never go back. Like,
no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to.